What's up, guys? How we doing? How we doing? Sorry my face is all red. I am very hot. It is 100 degrees today. We just got home from work. We may have to leave again suddenly, so if this video abruptly ends, I'll be back. Today, I wanted to review Twisted Metal for the game. Let me know if you're getting annoyed with the reviews. I know I've been doing a lot of reviews lately, but I've just been getting fascinated and nerding out by the lore of Twisted Metal throughout the games and whatnot. And they made them the 1 through 4 available to buy on PlayStation last week. And man, Twisted Metal 4, whenever I was a kid, my childhood friend had Twisted Metal 4. And I had 2 and 3, and I played 2 a little bit. Did not like 3, even as a kid. And played 4, and that was a majority of what I played. So Twisted Metal 4 is nostalgic for me, and I had more fun with it because I was able to play with a friend. I really thought it was like the best game ever. It was my introduction to Rob Zombie. I've been talking it up in Discord how awesome the game is. It's my favorite in the franchise. This week I beat Twisted Metal 4 and Twisted Metal Black. I wasn't sure if I should do a review on each. I think I'm just going to kind of talk about both of them, but mainly Twisted 4 in this video. So, after buying it and playing it as almost a 30-year-old man, does it hold up as the amazing game and my favorite one in the franchise like I thought it was when I was a kid? No. No, it doesn't. There's aspects to it that I like that we'll get into, but there's a lot of things that do drag it down. So, Twisted Metal 1 and 2 was made by a different studio that made 3 and 4. I don't remember the name of the studio that made Twisted Metal 1 and 2, but I'm pretty sure they turned into Insomniac, which made Twisted Metal Black. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong, but I think that's what happened. And so for a brief moment, 3 and 4 was made by 989 Studios, and we're using a different engine, and so a lot of fans do not like 3 or 4, and the creators of 1 and 2 do not like 3 and 4. And so it was a shock to grow up and see that a lot of people didn't like 4, and after revisiting it as an adult and playing the other ones in the franchise, I can definitely see why people don't like 4. First off, let's get into the characters. So this game has a lot of additional characters, which is pretty cool. And in this game, story-wise, Sweet Tooth actually takes over the games. He throws Calypso off a building, and Calypso is now in the tournament trying to regain control of the tournament. And the Sweet Tooth, or the lore, you do the tournament, you make a wish. It's a play on words. They twist the wish to screw you over. And after learning the origins of Calypso, there's actually a comic about Calypso when Twisted Metal Black came out. I think it's fascinating. I don't want to talk about it because I'm worried it might be spoilers for the show if they decide to pull from it. But a lot of the storylines they seem to be pulling from the show are from Twisted Metal Black. But they're mixing the humor of 1 through 4, because 1 through 4 were campy and goofy, while Black and 2012 were really dark. I'll be back. Anyways, let me talk about what I like about Twisted Metal 4. I do think the new characters are cool. They introduce quite a lot of new characters, and once you beat the game, you unlock all the bosses and Sweet Tooth himself, who is the big bad of the game. I beat the game as Pizza Boy. He had the most consistent handling, and although his special isn't the greatest, it's consistent, and I like the level designs. I think those are cool. I like the little secret rooms and the way to get health, and like in Neon City, you got a little way that you can get picked up by a helicopter and go and get secret health. I like that. The levels are good. It's got a little cleaner design. Like the endings are kind of a joke, like 3, but there are a couple decent ones. And I do like that there's a boss fight at the end of every round. You know, you fight, I think the first level you fight 3 opponents, then you fight a boss. And then the next level you fight 5 opponents, then you fight a boss. And the more levels you get into, the more opponents you face, and every level has a boss. And Sweet Tooth is a hard boss, and I did not beat him the cheesy way of using a proximity mine and shooting him into outer space. I, got the last guy down to very little health, collected lightning and all the good stuff, and then basically just shot all that at Sweet Tooth from a distance and got him down to 1 shot. And by the time he made it to me, he killed me because I was unable to get to the health. You got the special ability bar where you can jump or shoot rear fire or shoot a freeze missile or use shield or go invisible, which is another thing I liked about this game. It seems like that's available more than like Twisted Metal Black. You're able to use shield, and that energy bar seems to regenerate a little bit faster. I just could not for the life of me jump and get to the health. Otherwise, I would have beat the whole game without dying. But I died once and got Sweet Tooth the old-fashioned way instead of... I do understand why people use the proximity mine. He's a pain in the ass. Then I went and I beat the game as Sweet Tooth, and I don't know what the developers were thinking. He is so overpowered it makes the game boring. His special will legitimately beat somebody in one use. It's a special that drags the opponent. It basically grabs the opponent and then hits them with a bunch of bombs while blowing fire on them at the same time. And there are absolutely no threat. And you're Sweet Tooth, so you have pretty decent armor. Super overpowered. So, it's not even fun to play as him, which is kind of a downer. It is fun going Sweet Tooth to Sweet Tooth, though. And, anyway. That's my positives. The look of it. Oh, and that it introduces you to Rob Zombie. I love that. That was my introduction to Rob Zombie as a kid. I love that you're, playing and listening to Super Beast and Dragula and Rob Zombie stuff. I love that. And I love that the show incorporated that at the start of the competition. Dope, But where the game is flawed, and, I didn't realize it as a kid, and obviously when I was 8, right, and the PlayStation 2 just came out, you think that the graphics and everything's amazing, and now in today's world, you know how much everything's improved and whatnot. The driving is horrible. The driving in Twisted Metal 4 is absolutely atrocious. The camera never wants to face the right way. If you got somebody that's right here and goes slightly behind you trying to turn and face them and get the camera, it is such a pain. Also, the weapons are not very good. You got a homing missile, fire missile, power missile that I believe is in all the games. And the homing missile misses half the time. The power missile is rewarding. It shoots straight, and you gotta have good aim, and it's a high-risk, high-reward weapon. There are a couple good weapons, don't get me wrong. The lightning bolt's not bad, but sometimes it will affect you. The auto lobs aren't bad. The gray missiles, I don't remember what they're called. You shoot them up, and then it, follows an opponent and shoots 3 missiles at them. The remote bombs are pretty good because the AI is so stupid, and the proximity mines aren't bad either. The red rain missiles are not too bad, but the regular rain missiles are pretty awful in my opinion. There's a couple decent weapons, and you do have a lot of turbo, which is cool, but most of them are useless. Napalm was useless in this game. The fire missile is pretty useless. The machine guns are useless. I didn't realize how effective the machine guns actually were in the other games compared to this one. And ramming is pretty useless, which is actually another big thing that in Twisted Metal Black is huge. You can ram a player and kill him, and yeah. And I would say that's the most important factor of a car combat game, right? Is the driving and the weapons. And so the driving and the weapons are rough. You get stuck on a lot of edges and corners, and you just get stuck a lot, and like simply trying to make a jump from here to here is just damn near impossible. Like, the game is very frustrating in just trying to drive the car. Of course, after repetitiveness and getting used to it, you do get it down, and I remapped some of the buttons because they decided to make gas X and tight turning square, and in all the other games driving is square and tight turning is X. I don't know why they switched that. But yeah, overall, I think the level designs are good. I think the introduction to the new characters are good. I think you got some interesting characters. Orbital. Pizza Boy is a dork in the end, but his car is not bad. Quattro. Meter Maid. Soundtrack is awesome. Level design's fine. It looks okay. You know, like graphic-wise, it looks pretty good. But the actual playthrough, man, it's rough. And I think the most frustrating part is that it's too easy. It is very easy to win. As I said, it took an hour to get used to the driving and whatnot, and then I started the tournament, and I only died once, and it was the Sweet Tooth, and had I been able to get my health, I wouldn't have died. So, yeah, it's a very, very easy game. Compared to Twisted Metal Black, Twisted Metal Black is not easy at all. The boss fights in it, I do wish there were more, but the boss fights in it are hard. Like, just playing in itself is hard. You got 8 opponents, and there's not a lot of health. You got to be a little bit more strategic, but, you know, we're comparing apples to oranges because we're comparing a PS1 game to a PS2 game. Obviously, Twisted Metal Black, when it comes to the driving, is going to be better. I didn't like the maps as much in Twisted Metal Black as I did Twisted Metal 4. But the driving is phenomenal. Feels great in Twisted Metal Black. The story and how dark that they go with everyone's storyline, I love. The boss battles are pretty difficult, and it's a difficult game. Like, I can definitely see somebody being a badass and getting through it without dying. I could see that, but I died every round. I'm not ashamed to admit it. The hardest level to me on Twisted Metal Black is level 6, I believe. It was either level 5 or level 6. You open up, and you're in a 30 by 30 closed space versus 2 opponents. And after you kill one or die yourself, the map then expands, and then it expands some more whenever the boat lands, I think. And that one was difficult because either you have a good start and you successfully kill one and you're able to get out, get health, and your first life doesn't go to waste, or you just immediately get demolished inside, and then so now you're on your second life. Those 2 are still alive, and now you got 6 more to deal with. And they don't mess around. You got to play 8 opponents in each match. I do love the idea of the electric ramp that you can go. You can use it twice to heal up completely. Use twice per match, not per life. You can only use it twice. And Twisted Metal Black, I mean, it was a great game. But this is a Twisted Metal 4 review. It definitely is not the best in the franchise. I've been talking it up all week in Discord about how much I loved it. And after playing 1, 2, 3, 4 in Black, I think if I were to rank them, I would go Black, 2, 4, 1, 3. I didn't beat 1 through 3. I was more curious about beating 4, but I did play them, and I think 2, I can see why it's a lot of people's favorites. As far, like, 2, I don't like the maps as much, but the weapons, the control of the vehicle is better than 4. And it's made by a different studio, so, yeah. The ending to the stories in 2 are, all of them are pretty good. And then 3, the endings become a joke. 4, most of them suck, but there are a few good ones. Black, most of them are pretty good. Most of them are pretty dark. Yeah, I would give Twisted Metal 4 a solid 2.5 out of 5. It's right in the middle. I'm not gonna say I hate it. A lot of people hate and despise this game. It's because what happened is you got 1, and then you got 2, which was way better than 1. Then you got 3, which was a step down from 2, and then you got 4, which was a step up from 3, but not on the same level as 2. So a lot of fans hate 3 and 4. It's made by 989 Studios, but I do dig 4 for what it is. But Twisted Metal Black, I have never played Small Brawl head-on or the 2012 version. I didn't even know that came out. When I was in high school, that's when that came out, and I had no idea. I would have bought a PlayStation 3 just to play that. Because it looks fun. It does. And it's really dark. As far as the show goes, they're definitely pulling storylines from Black, but not going the full darkness of the game, mixing in the campy humor of the previous games and games like Small Brawl and whatnot, which I'm okay with. Like, I get it. You know, you can't make everything super dark and depressing. That's not going to appeal to a wider audience. So I do think the show is doing a good job of blending both. But yeah, that's my Twisted Metal 4 review. It really was nostalgic being able to revisit this game. I'm happy that it's accessible now, and hopefully enough people buy this and shows enough interest that they'll make another game. But yeah, it definitely, I was giving it all this praise like it was the best in the franchise, and I'm eating my words on that one. But I don't hate it. I don't hate it. There's things about it I do enjoy. But the main component, driving and weapons, suck. And that's the most important part. If the driving was better and the weapons were better, this would be my favorite one. Because I do like that there's a boss fight at the end of every level. I do like the levels themselves. And if it was a little bit harder. Because in Twisted Metal Black, dude, they're all coming after you. Like, it doesn't even seem like they fight each other. They're all coming at you. And you got a lot of levels where you're on top of buildings or whatnot. And you can fall off and die, so it makes it more difficult. Twisted Metal Black was a hard game, to be honest. But yeah, I might stream playing Twisted Metal Black tonight as a different character. I went through and beat it as Sweet Tooth. I don't know who else to play as. Roadkill was too fast. There is too fast in the Twisted Metal games. But yeah, that is my review of Twisted Metal 4. Would I recommend that you get it? Yeah. I mean, if you're a big Twisted Metal fan and you're wanting to get involved in the games and haven't played them, I would recommend that you get 2, 4, Black. A lot of people didn't seem to like 2012, but people do seem to enjoy Small Brawl and Head On, from what I understand. So, but I don't think you can buy those. I think the only ones you can buy are 1 through 4 and Black. So I would suggest 2, 4, and Black if you want to play the games. Twisted Metal 1 isn't bad by any means. It's just, you know, I don't know. Like, the movement and the weapons are cool. It's the one that started it all. And if you watch the Lost tapes of the ending, my god, is it campy. And Harold is actually from the first game that's in the show, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I'm just yapping now. Twisted Metal 4, introduction to Rob Zombie, was a big part of my childhood. Not as good as I thought it was as a kid, but that's okay. There's still things to like about it. But yeah, 2.5 out of 5. I would give Twisted Metal Black a 4. 3.5 out of 5. I wish the boss fights were better, and I wish there were more boss fights. Fighting Warhawk is one of the most frustrating boss fights ever. Anyway, maybe I'll do, if you guys are interested, just a Twisted Metal Black review in itself, but I just kind of wanted to mix them to have something to compare Twisted Metal 4 to. But yeah. Anyway, I love you guys. Thank you for watching.